What's poppin', yo? Idols really do become rivals because SNEAKO would come to a celebration of Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate's arrest that happened in Miami. So this all goes back to their issues have been persistent for several years, but in early January, they, alongside both of the members of Fresh and Fit in a car, played the infamous Ye song, most censored song in history, and then they got into a lot of trouble for it. It was played in the car, in the club, and then they decided to throw SNEAKO under the bus for it, despite the fact that SNEAKO was not the one that played it, and they are still cool with Fresh, who was the guy that got it played at the club Vendome. So the friends and allies of the Tate brothers, such as Myron and his brother, Myron and his brother, who is now a creator himself, they would talk about how, the Matrix is trying to attack him, and SNEAKO would disagree with this statement.
Because they're influenced. Riyadh, they don't have any more influence, bro. Nobody cares about them. They only go viral when they get arrested or when they try to blame me or they put allegations on me. That's it. Nobody is seeing their clips anymore. Nobody listens to them anymore. Their podcasts and their streams are the dumbest streams I've ever seen. It's talking about like Buddhism, Hindu. It's the stupidest ideology ever. They don't have influence. They're not targeted because of their influence. The Matrix is not attacking them because they're influencing young boys to become masculine. No, it's because they're a real these charges have been pending for years. You think that all 21 charges are completely fabricated? You're retarded. I mean, the people who still believe that are retarded. I think Riyadh, I don't think he's retarded. I think he's repeating what Myron is repeating. Myron is probably going to continue to defend Tate, because they're friends. But we got to be real. We have to be accurate, especially if we're going to be talking about politics. You can't hold specific biases towards that. And maybe I should have looked into that more back then, 4 years ago. And I didn't. I did believe they were my friends. But they're not being targeted because the Matrix is coordinating and conspiring against them.
So I disagree with this heavily. Yes, Tate is not as viral and he doesn't consistently go as viral as he used to, but there's a reason why he is being invited to. So he got arrested while he was going to show up to some bare knuckle boxing event, commentating or something like that. The guy, as a global celebrity, is significantly more popular than SNEAKO. And the thing that SNEAKO values more than anything else is relevance. It's relevance, viral, popularity. Like he said, he's like, these guys don't have influence. The only time they go viral if it's something involving me, something like that. But these guys, they do have influence. They had an influence. Like the SNEAKO wave was birthed directly from the Tates. So if they're going to try to tackle their movement or whatever, they're going to cut the head of the snake, which is Andrew and Tristan. And in the UK, these guys had a massive influence. So they're going to try to go after them. On top of that, we're in a position now where these, not just governments, but district attorneys, lawyers, etc., they've always gone after big fish. And they're like, if we can defend this person, if we can take down this person and put charges on them, that's going to make our reputation, our career, and it's going to serve us. So if they can be the attorney or the prosecutor that took down the Tate brothers, that's very good for them. So there's a lot of incentive there for them to do that, even if they're not as relevant as they once were, because them being arrested and charged resurfaces them to the most talked about people online. Now, after that, SNEAKO suggests that actually the Matrix, quote unquote, is attacking him, not Tate.
Against them. Do you want to know who the Matrix is conspiring and coordinating against? Me. The Matrix is attacking me. Elon Musk tied up with Mossad. You have the richest guy in the world putting out information that's following Mossad propaganda that's being amplified by all these Mossad paid influencers to push for my deportation.
So this is simply untrue. Of course, in my opinion, this is an opinionated thing. But when you talk about an Andrew Tate and those brothers, they had a consistent viewpoint for many years. You could say that Andrew has shifted. So initially, I think he's just gone full circle. Like now he's with the whole white people, they're losing their ground and they're losing their demographics and all that. That's the thing that he's on right now, which is what he was on 10 years ago. He was a big supporter of Tommy Robinson in the UK, who was a guy that was staunchly like anti-immigration, anti-Muslim, all of those other things. And Tate would become Muslim during his arrest, and then I wouldn't say phase out of it. He never denounced it or anything, but fall back on it. That's for sure. But his message and his personality has still consistently been the same. Whereas with a SNEAKO, you can't really grab onto anything, right? It's like you had weed smoking guy, and he's developed online, which is something that's difficult to do. Like the Tate brothers, they didn't get famous until they were in their late 20s and had experienced many things in life, many different lives. But for SNEAKO, he doesn't really have a movement. Like, what is he right now? Well, right now, he is like an Islamist. I don't know. What would you consider him? So when you don't have influence, I would say SNEAKO right now has visibility. He has very high visibility. But when it comes to a movement, he does not have that. He doesn't have anything close to that. Now, for example, who's somebody to the contrary? I would say the guy that he collaborates with, like that Muhammad Hijab guy, right? In the UK. That guy, you could say maybe there's like a Matrix attack on him, right? Like that guy has a movement and he's been consistent. Like a Nick Fuentes, that guy has a dangerous movement. Dangerous as in if they're on your crosshair or if you're in their crosshairs, they're going to come after you and they can cause perception damage. And these people rally in real life. Like there's real life events where they get together and there's a consistent ideology that they all follow. That is political in nature as well, which is something that's dangerous. So that's something that would be targeted. But SNEAKO, nah. Like people, the governments are not concerned about SNEAKO. And that's why he's able to move as freely as he does. But SNEAKO was one of the strongest defenders of Andrew and Tristan Tate when they were arrested years ago. He rode that wave of defending them, which was a very profitable wave. You got a lot of attention and support from a certain audience if you supported these guys and said like, yo, they're innocent, which he did. And since then, there hasn't been any new information. Nobody new has come out. It's the same thing. And he just straight up abandoned them now.
They're guilty. Allegedly. At the time, I did believe it. I believe that they were innocent, but you look into it more, and you look into what the lover boy method is, and you look into what that is, they literally said that they were recruiting women to pimp them out. They had a course talking about how you could become a pimp. Word for word, they just spell out exactly what the lover boy method is. They say, this is how you do it. If you want a girl to fall in love with you so that you could traffic her, buy my course and I'll teach you how. So first, you make her fall in love with you. You have sex with her. Then you program her. Then you take her passport. Then she's in love with you. Then you put her on OnlyFans. It's like that's what the lover boy method is, word for word. That's what pimping is, allegedly. I don't know what I'm talking about, allegedly. To a T, that's exactly what pimping is, and they just did it online. And they did it in Europe with white women. Look at that, too. You know what's so funny is that the Tates started grifting the white supremacists, like the white incels, the skin worshippers. They literally got rich pimping out European white women because they were better for money. Like they made more money. Do you think that they were pimping out Asian girls and black girls? No, they moved to Romania because the crimes, they thought that we're going to get away with it. They said, Romania's the third world country. I can be a mob boss. I'm a mafia. I could bribe the police. I'm like the cartel of Romania. That's why they moved there.
The question here is, what more is there to look into? There's nothing new. All of the information is out there. It's been out there. So either he chose not to look into information for 2 years straight and blindly support them, which is either stupid or dumb, or knew all of the information and knew that it was more profitable and better for his career to just support them anyway, which at that point you're like, yo, that's kind of gross, because especially if you believe that they did the crimes that they were accused of and you're like, nah, I'm gonna defend them anyway because this is better for my career and they're accused of some heinous stuff. Or you just ignored all of it. And then switching up like this, that is absolutely crazy. And that's one thing that you have to take into consideration, which is if they are your ops now, that's understandable. But if you believe they were innocent of these crimes, then you got to stand on that. And that's one thing that I feel like people think is shaky, which is, and they notice this over time, people notice this, is, yo, you messed with these guys. It's understandable you don't mess with them right now because they threw the guy under the bus completely. And I understand why they threw him under the bus, because like, yo, why did you put them in that position? Like playing that song, like you knew they weren't going to mess with that. And then you can go into like who played it and all that. But I do believe it was SNEAKO that played it in the car. And these people have families, and you could say they threw you under the bus. You got a lot of controversy. You got banned from a bunch of clubs that you didn't go to anyway. And now you're not cool with them. But that doesn't mean that you have to believe or push that they are guilty. That's something else entirely. But not only that, SNEAKO claims that he was praying for this.
Wallahi, I prayed for this. Wallahi, I just came back from Umrah. I was going to do my intro a little longer. I'm just going to get right into it. I'm too happy. A lot of news to cover, but Umrah, they're supposed to make prayer for a lot of things. I pray for, you guys know I pray for the Ummah. I pray for the martyrs. I pray for the people of Gaza. But for the personal things, I made specific dua that the enemies of Allah will be humiliated. And as soon as I touch down, he's wearing like this Waluigi fit and gets out of here. Yo, hey, Top Goy. You apologized for no reason. SNEAKO didn't. I'm sorry for the song. Turns out you don't need to fold. They're still going to lock you up if you committed crimes. The Matrix attacked me. I'm influential. Nobody knows who you are. You have no more influence. You fell off completely. They're not locking you up because you're influential to the youth. They're locking you up because you're guilty. Have fun in prison.
This is by far this is the second. It's the second funniest thing I've seen this week. The first funniest thing, I don't want to mention it. It's unrelated, but it was some streamer university thing. The second funniest thing is this, because imagine this guy left New York City after the whole like, yo, deport this guy. It's just a meme. So he goes to the holiest city and the holiest site for his faith. And then on his mind is praying for Andrew Tate's downfall. He's like, God, please let this man be arrested. Listen, there's levels to this hate. Like I thought, I was a noble, right? Like a noble in the red keep, if you want to call it that, of hate. But this guy, this is like emperor levels of hate. Like you're at some holy place, everybody's happy, people are there. Like you got to have a clean heart. And on your mind at the forefront is, may God arrest these guys. How are they even in your mind? Like that's rent free if that was ever the case for something like that. And also, why would you admit that? I don't think that's a good thing to admit that you were praying for either. You kind of just got to take that one on the chin. Even, what they say, I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy. If he believed that they were innocent, even if they're your enemy, you don't got to wish for their incarceration. These guys are incarcerated in U.S. jail or they're going to be sent out. However, it is these guys' fault. Like I feel like most of you guys, if you had the money that they had and you knew that governments were after you, you're sitting your behind down in Dubai and shilling whatever they want you to shill to make sure that, you can continue to see your kids and you can continue to live a life of the cheapest thing, but the most valuable thing you can have, which is your freedom, like to walk around with everybody else. But I think these guys, they suffered from this continuously, is their hubris. They just thought like, yo, we're just going to keep moving around. Like, why would you even risk it? Maybe they thought that their connections would be enough, because there's no way you're going to risk going to jail again. I just can't wrap my head around that. I just want to know what they were thinking to continue moving around. Like there was a period of time recently, I think they were moving around in like Russia and Kazakhstan and China and things like that. And that's understandable, like going to some of these countries where it would be very, very difficult to like arrest them in said country and then extradite them. It's very hard to do on the other side of the world. Whereas like the UK and the US have a strong relationship. But I'm interested to see how this develops, if there's any new information in the case, because the Romanian one, it was just it felt like there was just motions being filed and accusations made, and we didn't really get a lot of information for the case, because I don't even think it got to trial. It was just dismissed a bunch of times. But it'll be good to finally see things come out in trial if that happens, because everything was just material that they had put out online, which doesn't look the greatest. But one thing that SNEAKO accused of them earlier in the clip that I played for you guys, which is, oh yeah, he says take their passport. They never said anything like that. These guys, yeah, they were digital pimping for sure. But that's something that all of the people involved in this industry do the exact same thing, but they don't all get arrested for it. I don't know, they convinced them into doing it, but the removing the passport, not letting them leave, those are things where it turns into crimes. And I'm guessing the jurisdiction for these crimes was the UK. But if you remember, the first girl that kind of like accused them of something was from the UK, and then they left the UK. And they would tell this story as well in certain pieces of content, which is another example of hubris. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm going to see you on the next one.